Let's talk about the things that nobody tells you. So 7 years ago, I went out on my very first ride. I had read everything I could find in the forums. I watched stuff on videos, and then I went out for that first ride. And when I came back, I'll tell you, the experience was a little bit different than all the advice that I had read. So point number one, respect for the machine is not enough. So this is probably the number one advice you're going to read in the forums, is respect the machine. And it's absolutely great advice. Problem is, I think it's better advice for people who can actually ride a little bit. So you've gained a little bit of experience, and at that point, when you've become comfortable, you need to have respect for the machine, because you will outride your abilities so fast. You'll accelerate too quickly, you'll go into corners way too hot, you can just get into trouble really quick. For that newbie rider, I think that they actually do respect the machine. That's why they're in the forums, that's why they're watching videos. They have respect, they're worried about it. The main takeaway here is that the machine will overwhelm your brain's ability to process data. So it doesn't matter how much respect you have, the bike will respectfully launch you into a parked car. We see it all the time. Guy gets on a new bike, he's test riding it, and launches that bike through a parking lot and hits some stationary object. Point number two, hitting the horn randomly. So I only did this once, but man, did it catch me off guard. The reason it happens is because there's just so much going on. I mean, let's talk about the right hand. You have the throttle, you have the brake, I have ignition to turn on and off. Left hand, I have not just the horn and the lights, the blinkers, controlling engine mapping, all of them. It's like a keyboard, and just because you see it and it makes sense doesn't mean you can type 100 words a minute. And just like typing, you're gonna get some words wrong. And when that happens, you accidentally flash brights at people, you leave your turn signal on, you hit the horn. It's just stuff that happens on that first ride. Point number three, sudden engine revving. So I think this happened because I wore gloves that were a little bit too big. I like to wear gloves that are super tight, and unfortunately for me, that means wearing gloves that are like too small. I cannot stand having any gap between my skin and the glove, because it's just like typing to me. I need to feel the keyboard, right? I need to feel the controls that I'm touching. What I think happened was my hand, as it's clenched, I think there was a little fold in the glove, and I think that pulled the throttle, and it suddenly revved the engine. These things, it doesn't take much, and they will scream to the moon. Okay, number four, downshifting while slowing down. Now, I expected this to be a challenge. But what I didn't expect was how jerky it would be. So probably the second best advice you read on the forums is take it slow. Unfortunately, when you're taking it slow and you let off that clutch, the engine has already slowed way down, and so it doesn't match the speed of the street. And so it just makes for a jerky experience. And it's pretty jerky depending on the bike that you're on. So that was just something that I didn't expect. First ride, it's gonna be extremely jerky. Number five, this is what I wrote: getting used to the bike going faster, better, less risky than starting out slower in a parking lot. So it surprised me just how stable the bike was at speed, and how much easier it was to ride than riding around in a parking lot. When you take the MSF, almost all the riding you do is in a parking lot, and for good reason. So you would think that riding a bicycle really translates well to a motorcycle. Unfortunately, that's not the case, because on a motorcycle, let's say you're going slow through a parking lot, you're turning, you're feathering the clutch, you're giving a little bit of throttle, your foot's on the brake, maybe your hand's on the brake, and it's a technical skill that unfortunately takes a bit to get used to. It is way easier to ride faster, and that's something that you'll experience pretty quickly. Number six, trying to countersteer at slow speed. So this may sound extremely stupid to you, but I want to try it. And you know what? You can't do it. It's true, you can't do it. Your brain sends you an immediate, don't do that, and you just can't. I mean, that's what I felt, just frozen. Nope, that's not gonna happen, I'm gonna drop the bike. What's funny is you see this all the time with people on the freeway who have never countersteered, don't know what it is, and they try to change lanes, or they go on a roundabout. What you see happen is the bike does a little twitch because they go to turn it like a normal bike, and it doesn't work, right? So the brain immediately stops them from killing themselves. What you'll see is they'll slowly kind of drift over as they're like using their body weight to turn the bike. Every time I see it, it makes me super nervous for them. Anyways, yeah, you can't countersteer going slow. Number 7, feeling when to countersteer comes quickly. So I would say that whole countersteering, it's like the bike, it becomes stable all at once. So you're riding the bike, you get up to speed, 20 miles an hour, suddenly it's pretty stable. And when you feel that, when you feel the bike is stable, you go ahead and try and countersteer and it works. And it's actually pretty awesome. Number 8, process of stopping. So I think everybody goes through this. So you're coming up to a red light, you're slowing down, you're not gonna drop the bike. So you put your feet down. What foot did you put down? Did you put down your left foot, your right foot? Did you come in with the landing gear with the 2 feet down? So what typically happens is you've stopped, you know you're fine, but you know you need to get back into first gear. So you check to see what gear you're in. Did you downshift all the way? You're probably in second, third gear. You look around, your buddies, they're already sitting with their hands off the handlebars, trying to talk to each other. Light goes green, boom, they're gone. Don't worry, you'll get there. It's a process, and it's worth talking about. The MSF teaches you, I believe this is what they say, left foot down, because your right foot and your right hand need to be on the brake at all times, all the way to a stop. And while you're slowing down, you're supposed to downshift into first gear, have your left foot down, and then once you come to a stop, go ahead and put your right foot down, and then you should have your hand on the clutch and be ready to go as soon as the light goes green. Most people, they'll throw it back into neutral. I remember my teacher said, don't do that, don't trust the light, the green light and the neutral saying that you're fine. In my experience on the many bikes I've ridden, you know whether you're in gear or not. It's not like, I've never seen anybody just go tearing off because the bike just popped into gear. So number 9, lane positioning. This one really surprised me. When you are on that first ride, you'll notice just how much lane you have, that it's a ton of real estate, and how hyper aware you are of the road conditions. I mean, you're looking way out in front of the car in front of you, you can see the road conditions up there, you're highly aware of what's going on in front of you, the potholes, the oil slicks. You're also aware of the cars coming up on you. You're a newbie, you're not just flying through traffic yet. You move around a lot within the lane, and just for instance, this last video that I posted, watch how fast I get right into that sweet spot of the road. It wasn't even something I remember thinking about. It happens that easy, that fast, because you're looking so far ahead that you just see it. And what's kind of interesting is that sometimes you'll move way more within your lane than even changing lanes. So that's point number 9, moving within your lane, lane positioning. I didn't realize just how much of that you do. Number 10, getting used to gear. I'm not talking about the gear you wear, I'm talking about what gear the motorcycle is in. So it was something that I was thinking about during that ride. You have all these things overwhelming your brain, you have a lot to think about, what your hands are doing, and you know, your motorcycle might have 6 gears, your car has 6 gears, what gear should you be in? I can tell you I was in the wrong gear the entire time. When we got back, my brother-in-law told me, hey dude, you don't need to change gears so much. And so that goes with point number 11, getting used to cruising at 6,000 RPMs. So that's specific to the bike I was on an R6 that goes to 17,000 RPMs. 6,000 RPMs, I mean, how many cars cruise at 6,000 RPMs? And because of that, that means that the gear that I'm going to be in is completely different. I mean, second gear, you are way above 60. You can hit like 80, no problem in second gear. A car, you can't do that. So for me, I think I was trying to match my experiences with driving a car to riding a bike, where I was used to being at like 2,500 RPM, 2,000 RPM, and what that sounded like. So you're gonna be in the wrong gear, you're gonna be at the wrong RPM. As long as you make it home safe, you're good to go. Don't worry, it all comes very quick. You'll get the muscle memory for it. Just expect that the bike's gonna be jerky, you're gonna be horrible with signals and buttons. You might accidentally rev the bike. Downshifting is going to be absolutely horrible. So subscribe to my channel. We're gonna talk about things you should never do on a bike. And this new trend where computers are just overtaking everything. I call it the digitization of motorcycles. It's like the Matrix taking over your bike. These things are so computer controlled, it's ridiculous, but it's also kind of awesome. All right guys, peace out.